Hey guys, welcome to my channel F1 Sport Cards. My name's Glenn and today we're going to be looking at some very special cards from an absolute legend of the sport, Mr. Ayrton Senna. Let's get right into it. Before we get into today's video, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's been smashing up the like button on these videos and to all the people that have subscribed to this channel. We have just hit 2,500 subscribers. Whee! So big well done to all of you. I will be doing a live giveaway on this channel just for you subscribers once we hit 3,000 followers. So make sure you recommend these videos to someone who you know's into collecting sport cards or just collecting cards in general, and make sure you tell them to subscribe to this channel. And to many of you watching, according to my analytics, 50% of you guys that regularly tune into this show are not subscribed yet. So if I can convince you 50% to subscribe, we'll hit the 3,000 sooner. I can do the giveaway quicker. Win-win for everyone. Also, I want to say a special shout out to the Facebook group. We've hit over 4,100 members now, so that continues to grow. And also you can take part in breaks or sales that I do for F1 cards over on my Whatnot page, whatnot.com/F1 Sport Cards. The link is in the description down below. If you use it, you'll get £5 of free credit when you make your first purchase. Right, glad I got that over and done with. Nice bit of housekeeping. Today we're going to be looking at, so I have for you guys today a bunch of slabs of some parallels from the Senna Story collection, which Topps released I think summer last year. Now my plan was to try and complete an entire set of parallels, but unfortunately we hit 2 at the beginning and then we went months and months and months without hitting one single parallel. Got very frustrated, very angry because I spent a lot of money chasing them. I wish I'd just bought them as they got released, but I never managed to do it. So I had these parallels and I didn't know whether to put them in a binder or not because there's only probably like a quarter of the set here. So I thought, what should I do with them? So I sent them off to PSA to get graded. I didn't know what they'd come back. So I'm going to share that with you guys today. But also, it's not just about showing off the grades. It's actually about looking at some of the beautiful images and artworks of this Senna set. And I've also got some Senna images from custom cards and some retro as well as some more modern ones that I'm going to show you as well. So this is like an Ayrton Senna appreciation video. So make sure you smash the like button up if you are a fan of Senna, or if you were old enough to remember watching Senna race, obviously until he passed away unfortunately. But I've always obviously admired Ayrton Senna, not so much because of like my favorite Ayrton Senna cards. Here we have some of the Senna parallels. So these Senna parallels were actually quite rare in my opinion. They only released 16 parallels in total for each image. You might say 16 is a random number, but they released a 1 of 1, a 1 of 5 and a 1 of 10. So that means in total there were 16 possible outcomes that you could hit a parallel if you ordered the Topps Now cards. This is one of the very first images. This is actually Senna wins his first ever race, and this one came back a PSA 10. Hey, we're off to a good start. So I'm well happy about that. Obviously this is an out of 10 image. Obviously you have the out of 5s. To be honest, looks wise, I can never tell the 10s and 5s apart from obviously the gold numbering at the top there where it tells you what number it is. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Again, another one of these really early images. This is wins first Brazilian go-karting championship, and out of 10. This one came back a PSA 8. But still, beautiful parallel nonetheless. I then have his wins a British Formula 3 championship. So this is F3. And it came back a PSA 10. Hey. I really like these black and white images. They look really cool on the parallels. We then have Ayrton Senna. This one is his first win on home soil. This one is him holding the Brazilian flag. So I really like this image. This is an out of 10. and it came back a PSA 10. Hey! Now, these ones, I have to say, are not my most favourite. These are images of like the McLarens lining up on the grid. There's actually about 3 or 4 of these images, different ones throughout the set, but they all look pretty much the same. So I'm not a huge fan of these, but still, it's part of the collection. Gotta get them all. This one is 7 consecutive poles at the same Grand Prix, and that one's a PSA 9. Now this one I do like. This one's the actual parallel is a 10 of 10. This is him sitting on the fence. It reminds me of that famous meme of Fernando Alonso when he was sitting on the sun deck chair. But this one's him sitting on a fence. And this one says 4 career Grand Slams. So that means he got like pole position, won the race. He was fastest in all the practice sessions. So just like the Max Verstappen of his era. Absolutely dominating. That came back a PSA 9. We got another out of 10 here. This one came back a PSA 9 as well. This one is 4 wins in a row with victory in Belgium. This is with him holding the trophy above his head. Looks quite nice. Another car image. This one is, you can see just how wet it was at Monaco. And this one says a masterclass in Monaco qualifying. I'd like to go back and maybe watch this qualifying session, because Monaco, when it's wet, is always good to see. So it'd be good to see Senna going around. And that came back a PSA 9. Obviously, one of the biggest rivalries in F1 history is Senna versus Prost. And this is both of them sitting on the McLaren car. This is where it all began. It says the McLaren era begins. This one came back a PSA 9. Again, another car image where they're all lined up on the grid. Like I said, there is quite a few of these. This one came back a PSA 8. This one is Formula 1 record most consecutive pole positions. So just like Max Verstappen now, a lot of people think that that's quite a new thing, but actually there's always been one dominant team or driver throughout the year. Maybe not as dominant as the current Red Bull, but it's always happened in Formula 1. This one is, again, another car image lined up on the grid. This one wins on 100th Formula 1 race, and that one came back a PSA 9. And this one, I have to say, out of all of these cards that I'm showing you guys, this is my favourite image by far. So after Senna passed away, they made a statue of him, obviously to celebrate his life, and I believe it's at the Brazilian track Interlagos, and it was actually designed, I only found this out the other day, it was actually designed by his niece. Now luckily I managed to get this one in an out of 5. I actually did a trade with someone for this. I had the out of 10 and I traded it for an out of 5, plus I added some money on top. But then I sent it off to get graded, and it came back a 10. Get in. Now, I will not be selling this one. I actually won't be selling any of these. But this one in particular is one of my favourite images. This is definitely a PC card. Then behind here, I have 2 one-of-ones. Now, in my opinion, the one-of-ones, I believe that these one-of-ones are worth in the region of probably £2,500. Now, if one of these come back a PSA 10, I believe that adds a bit more value, or it at least makes it more desirable. If you can have any one of any card, and it comes to make it even better because it's a PSA 10, that's like the holy grail. So what have we got here? Let's have a little look. We start off with Senna's first win in Formula 1, 1 of 1, and that's a PSA 9. I'm happy with that. I'd rather a 9 than a 7 or an 8 all day long. Thing is, with one of ones, you just don't know, do you? You just don't know what they're going to come back. But I don't think that takes away the value of this at all. But it would have been nice to obviously hit a 10. And then the last one is first driver to get 8 win races in a season. So a bit like Max Verstappen but in his day. This is the one of him standing on the #1 podium spot for winning the most races in a year. And this one came back a PSA 10. Get it? Oh, mate. When I saw this, when I opened the package, I was like... I was over the moon. A 1/1 Senna standing on the podium in a PSA 10. What are the odds? Now, the only other card that I would love to have in a 1/1 is actually this one here. God knows what grade it would come back, but there is actually someone selling it on eBay, I believe, but he wants like £7,000 for it. Obviously, I can't afford cards like that, but you know, I would love to own this image 1/1 and then obviously get it graded and it come back a 9 or a 10. But yeah, other than that, I'm really happy with this one. This is him standing on the podium. You couldn't ask for more. So they're the Senna Parallel collection that came out obviously last year, but there are loads of other Senna cards. If you're thinking that you would like to start collecting Senna images, there's plenty of other cards out there. Here's a retro one. This is from a Top Trump set from 2016, and you can pick these up pretty cheap. This one I sent off from a brand new sealed pack, but it came back a PSA 9. For some reason, PSA and Senna don't seem to go very well. I don't get many 10s of Senna, so those parallels in there I'm over the moon about. But yeah, we got this one here. This is from 2016 in Top Trumps. This is from a set called Who is the Greatest. It features all the greatest F1 drivers. But yeah, that's a nice Senna image there if you're interested in those sort of things. Just recently, obviously with Chrome 2023 coming out, I sent off a refractor of Senna, but unfortunately, again, came back a 9. I don't think I actually got any PSA 10s of Ayrton Senna from Chrome. This one is orange checkered flag of the same image. Again, PSA 9, but it's quite a low rare hit, so that's a nice card to keep hold of. And then I also got the Camber card, and again that came back a PSA 9. So this is out of 25. This features the McLaren in the background. Beautiful looking card. And then probably one of the rarest hits that I got from the Chrome 2023 set, I managed to hit one of the hidden gems, Ayrton Senna. But again, this one came back a PSA 9. Now this one does have like a speckled foil effect on it. It's really hard to pick up on camera because you have to shine it in the right light. I don't know if you guys, yeah, look, you can see some of them there. Beautiful card, but it came back a PSA 9. So a little bit disappointed that I didn't get at least 110 out of all of those, but never mind, I'll keep trying. I have actually got one more hidden gems. Get in! I was going to stick this in the binder, but I may actually send this off, and if this comes back a 10, I may crack this one open and stick this in my binder, so we'll see. It'll probably come back another 9. And then outside of obviously Topps products, there's plenty of vintage Senna cards that you can go back and collect if you really want to go back and collect some of the older Senna sets. But this one's a custom card made by... So this is a Piggy Banks card, which is a custom made card. This is a 1/1 refractor. He makes sports and pop culture reference cards. And this one he's made Senna with like a film from like years ago, and it shows 3 iconic images of Senna. Really love this. Again, it's not for sale. This is part of my PC. But it just goes to show that, you know, you don't just have to collect one particular set. You can pick a driver, and this is why I always say collect what you love. You can find a driver, and if you go back far enough, if you do enough research, there'll be all these cards from different sets, Top Trumps and custom made cards, parallels, just normal base cards of sets from years and years ago. To show you what I'm talking about, to sort of go back and collect some of the really old Senna stuff, I've gone and purchased a bunch of these sort of Top Trump sets. Now these size Top Trumps are a bit smaller than these, so I wonder if they'll grade and come back in one of these actually. but they feature some Senna images from like 30-40 years ago. So I'm going to go through and have a look at all the, and I've got loads of these. I've bought literally about 12 of these. So I'm going to go back and try and pick out the best ones that I can to send off to get graded. There you go. I'll leave you on that bombshell. If you like this style of video of me talking about some of the legends of the sport and going back over some of the older cards of them, make sure you smash the like button up and also comment down below. What's your favourite Senna image from this set, and who would you like me to actually go back and show you some of their vintage and older cards? Whoever gets the most votes, I'll do a video on that particular driver as well. Well, that's it from me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias under the name F1 Sports Cards, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and obviously the Whatnot page. And you can shop for F1 cards 24/7 in your own leisure at home under www.f1sportcards.com. That's it from me, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.